Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a closer look at Bluegrass Stakes winner Zandon, one of the strong contenders in the 2022 Kentucky Derby. Mike, this horse needed to run a fast race, and he did so in the Bluegrass last time out, earning a 98 Beyer speed figure in only his fourth lifetime start, and we both liked how he did it. We're going to watch the stretch run of the Bluegrass, but this horse was in and among horses in the early part of this race. The trip eventually worked out, but I love the way he finished it up.
Yeah, me too. This is a trip that very easily couldn't have worked out for him. He might have gotten himself stopped there, but ultimately he gets clear, and he gets clear with time. And just look at the way he comes and gets these two horses on the lead then. And that's, that horse that he's running over here in the last 16th of a mile is no pushover, Smile Happy. Zandon just charges right over the top of this horse. Another step in the right direction for a horse who just feels like he's going to be heading into the Kentucky Derby in perfect form for a top trainer.
4 starts, has never taken a backward step on the Beyer scale, and I think the great Chad Brown showed his confidence in this horse by running him in the Remsen in only his second lifetime start, fresh off of a 6-furlong maiden victory, stretching him out 3/8 of a mile for his second lifetime start. Not an easy feat at all, and Zandon ran great that day against Mo Donegal, especially considering he was herded down towards the inside at the very end of that race and never stopped fighting.
Yeah, he got a 3-wide trip in that race too. Mo Donegal got to save more ground than Zandon that day. The flip side of that is that Zandon got first run on Mo Donegal after sitting relatively close to a pace that was not fast. Either way, they both came out of that race, I think, with reputations intact. They both ran really well in the Remsen, and they've both come back to take steps forward as 3-year-olds. Dan Zandon, his Bluegrass was, to me, one of the most impressive prep races on the way into the Kentucky Derby.
And his risen star, while a third-place effort in his seasonal debut behind the potential Kentucky Derby favorite Epicenter, he had plenty of excuses in that race. There just was no pace going on. Zandon didn't break very well, wound up at the tail end of the field after a slow opening quarter mile, which was controlled by the winner, yet still fought on at the end. That was the race where it kind of made the Remsen validated and showed that this is a top 3-year-old, and then he backed it up with his win in the Bluegrass.
Yeah, I'll agree with that too. That risen star, I mean, it felt like there was plenty working against him anyway off the layoff while the winner Epicenter had already had starts. It was in, basically just in top form heading into that race. And then Epicenter just got absolutely loose on the lead while Zandon is way at the back of the pack. He looked really keen. First time through the stretch, just maybe really fresh off the layoff there, Dan. And then he made the wide move around the second turn just to get himself into contention. I thought he stayed on pretty well. That was a perfect jumping off point. And then he did exactly what you wanted him to do in the Bluegrass. He built off of that race, and he took a huge step forward.
Is his running style a positive or a negative in the Kentucky Derby? He is going to be in mid-pack or further behind in the Derby. There's going to be a good pace on. That should help his chances. Of course, in a 20-horse field, he's going to have to work out some kind of trip and stay away from traffic or an especially wide journey into the lane.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, in a big field like that, anything can happen. I'm not pegging Zandon at this stage of the game as a horse who's going to be making, one run from out of it in the Derby, because that wasn't his running style in either of his races as a 2-year-old. In the Risen Star, he just didn't break great in that race, and I think that left him out of position. First off the layoff, there are easy ways to excuse that. Even in the Bluegrass, Dan, he was off the pace. I don't think he was going to be as far back as he wound up being. He just was, he wound up in a little bit of traffic and lost position in that race. Otherwise, I think he was going to be closer to the pace than he wound up being. I'm not pegging this horse as a 1-run closer.
Fitness should not be an issue for this horse, despite his relative inexperience. He's run 4 times, but 3 of those races have come at 1.125 miles. Now, of course, like the rest of the field, he has to do 1.25 miles for the first time. The way he runs in the stretch and his pedigree, I think there's enough to believe 1.25 miles is well within his scope.
Yeah, I'm looking at him that way too. When he first started out, I was a little concerned that about his regarding how much distance he would actually want. And he's by Upstart too, so I wasn't really sure how those horses were going to handle added ground when the distances got longer. The more that I see Zandon run, the less I'm worried about it, Dan. Especially the bluegrass just sort of gives you the impression that the 1.25 miles is not going to be an issue for this horse. He looks the part. He really finishes up in his races. I think if he gets any kind of a clean trip in the Derby, I think he's going to be real tough.
It's all about price in the Kentucky Derby, and there's a chance he could be the favorite. There's a chance he could be the third choice in this race. But all in all, you have to respect him, Mike, as a strong contender. It is all about price. What is a fair price on Zandon right now if you were playing the Derby tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not looking at short prices on anybody necessarily, but this is a horse who deserves to be one of the favorites in the race. I mean, I think I could argue pretty convincingly that he should be the favorite on the first Saturday in May. Maybe he will be. I don't know how they'll do it, but he deserves to be one of the shorter prices, Dan. I don't think you can look at this horse any other way.
Grade 1 winner Zandon, again, yet to take a step backwards on the Beyer scale and still has upside potential, going out for Chad Brown and a major player in this year's Kentucky Derby.